remarkable because one, it's not a big deal. Like anyone can do a podcast, right? But the fact that we're actually doing it and taking action, I think is important. So
I
I'm
know.
excited.
Ooh.
All right. So where are we going to start? Like our long and storied history of our friendship from the last 3 months.
Okay, 5. It's been 5 months.
Is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, we met in May.
Yeah, that's short even in dog years.
Yeah, especially that because we're so old. 5 months is nothing.
Yes, it really isn't.
Especially how this relationship has evolved so quickly and deeply. It's so surprising in all the good ways, I think.
It's pretty amazing what happens when you just start being yourself and completely just unabashedly, like, just whatever, like, this is who I am. And then, and then as soon as you find someone who's also just resonates with you at that true part of you, then you can even you can lean into it even harder because it's like, oh, here's another person who's even as crazy and as nutty as I am. You know, it's like you really like, not that you needed permission, but it really makes it.
Well,
it
validates your personality, like your true self. Like before, I used to hide that part of me of being 100% honest and who I am, just to please the other person. And now I don't want to do this anymore since I found a person that's like embracing all my shit. It's every single part of me. I'm like, I keep telling you stuff and you're like, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, what?
Because I don't see anything as shit, right? Like that's the other thing that helps too. It's like there's like no judgment. It's like, oh, okay, so you've had a lot of experiences that, I think, in years past I'd been like, ooh, like, oh, that's a red flag or whatever. Not that I knew anything about red flags.
You think like you've done something that's quote unquote shameful, or you're not so proud of it, and you find out that that's a lot of people have done even worse than what you've done.
Absolutely. And it was something you needed to do, and that's fine. And that whole shame thing. As soon as like we have shame about it, so we don't talk about it, and so we don't know that. If as soon as you start talking about it, then you're like, oh yeah, everyone's done this. Yeah. Everyone's gone to a sex club. Like
before, I was the only person who would accept other people, and they start telling me their secrets. They feel comfortable because I am not judgmental when people tell me their stories, but I would never go that. I would never reciprocate that sentiment.
Well, so let's get into that. Why?
It's weird,
what was that,
right?
you think?
Because of the shame. I was told so many times in my childhood to never say anything that happens in our household. Never tell what's happening in our house to other people.
Sure.
So when you've been told
to the
this
outside world
times and times again, it stays with you, and you're trying to protect yourself, your family, even though they didn't protect me. It's just weird what you can do to kids, So,
but when someone was sitting down with you and they were being vulnerable and they were being honest, that wasn't even enough for you. Like you were still. Did you have a longing to want to be like, there's so much I wish I could say to you, or did you not even feel like?
I felt like I am protecting myself by not telling the whole story.
You kept a wall up.
And I felt like if I start sharing, they will, I don't know, they use it as a weapon against me or something. There was no trust. I don't trust a lot of people. I used to not trust people with my stories.
Right.
Yeah, because I felt like if I tell you, like, if I'm being vulnerable, you're going to use it against me and try to hurt me.
That is kind of the unsaid part of whatever happens at home. We don't talk about it. Nobody knows. What's not being said is because if people knew, we couldn't trust what they would do with that information. They would shun us or they would gossip about us with everyone else. So that is kind of the the second side of that coin. So yeah, by telling that to kids, basically the message is don't trust the world.
Yeah. The world is out there to hurt us if we tell them who we really are. And can you believe I'm 48 and I just started to do that? It's crazy, right?
This was never before
I've spoken to therapists about my life, but not people.
Right.
Like maybe, perhaps, I pick and choose, the information I want to share, but I would never share the whole story.
Wow. Well, because you're saving it for the podcast.
Yes, because I want to tell the whole world.
Yeah, it wasn't that just one person wasn't enough.
Nah,
many people need to hear
the
this.
Attention of everyone.
Like, this shit is good, and I'm saving it for a broader audience. Thank you. Yes, that sounds.
I think
about
everybody's wondering what kind of stuff is she hiding. That's so like.
It is your life. The little I know is so fascinating. And my life is, I mean, dare I say, quite interesting.
Yes.
Too. Like it is kind of amazing that we're like cut from the same cloth, even though our backgrounds are so different, but they're different in such like the life you've lived and the people, the circles you've run in, and the interactions you've had with people at the highest levels of society. Like, it's amazing. Whereas, my family was middle class, and then almost overnight very, very poor. And so I didn't run in those circles, and I'm in a completely different part of the world, but that poverty led my family to doing completely making major changes that affected us for years and years and years, and still affecting my family, so we're definitely not run of the mill lifetimes here.
Yeah, it's, oh my God, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, the background is I come from Morocco and you come from the US, and I have always felt like I didn't belong. It's a really shitty thing to say. People will think I'm a snob. I love my country. Like, Morocco is a beautiful country. I'm not here to bash it, but the society per se for women is a bit too hard, like a lot of misogyny. And even like where I live, like, women were always like shamed for being sexual or having, boyfriends or doing things. But even the boyfriend would shame you for doing stuff with him,
I've always wondered how that works. It's like, don't you want me to be slutty?
He wants to sleep with you, but he will call you a slut for sleeping with him. It's just like
the dissonance. It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. And I was such a feminist since I was very young, because I used to read all these books like about feminism that I went to the French library and I would read like Simone de Beauvoir.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Seriously, I read so many books about feminism and sexuality, and I was like 15. I'm like, whoa, how to masturbate, how to do this, how to have sex, how to put on a condom, and I'm in my bedroom just collecting all these books and magazines, and I'm like, and my brain is just expanding, and I live in a society that's so patriarchal.
Your clit is swelling,
and like religion is very like the center of every discussion.
See, this is something we have in common too. The misogyny and the dogmatic.
Yeah, and then the
and
fear, like you have to be ashamed, and then you have to be like, you tell a kid, if you do this, you're gonna go to hell. And so it was so much stuff, like contradiction of what I wanted to be and aspire to be, and the society and my family, how they raised us. Like, my dad they were not hardcore like Muslims, but still, you could not have a boyfriend and go to present it to your parents.
Right,
That's
like sex-sided marriage.
You cannot. You have to still be virgin to get married.
Yeah.
And my mom found out that I wasn't, and she started flipping out. She found my pill, and she started screaming.
Wait, she found your what?
My pill. The pill. Yeah.
That's how your mom found out you weren't a virgin?
Because you know what? It's
oh my God, I feel like we're really jumping ahead, but
okay,
but that's fine, because I don't, this is not going to, real quick, and just a note for you and
Yeah.
I. There is a lot for us to have, and
Yeah.
but going linear, it doesn't have to be. There's going to be a lot of jumping
Yeah.
around, and at some point, we'll have to write this stuff down.
We're
But
just telling.
but yeah, okay.
like,
So
some
your
sto-
mom
yes,
found
found out.
by finding your birth.
I-
How did she find your birth
Well,
control? Like,
actually,
she snooping?
I did something very, very stupid. I threw my empty box in the garbage. But I thought like my mom was so dumb that she wouldn't even, because my mom doesn't know how to read or write. She never went to school. So for me, like, it's just a box for her. She would not know. But she took the pill. She's a woman. She knows like this kind of type of.
She was on
she
it
would-
herself
She
at one point in her
yeah,
life.
at one point she knows what a pack of pills look like.
Right.
I don't- I
Pharmaceuticals
was
have a
just
certain
being
look to
too,
them.
Like, I've been too like, I don't know. I thought like
You were too cocky.
Yeah,
You're like,
cocky.
my mom, she's
She's
ignorant.
like, she doesn't know anything. So she was emptying the trash can and she saw it and she started screaming in the house like, I have a woman in the house. I was like,
But
19.
you have sisters. Did she know it was you?
She was screaming. Oh, yeah, because it was like like the one I
In
had
your room.
in my bedroom.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't weren't
She-
clever
yeah, I
enough to
was
drop
not
in your
like-
sister's
yeah.
garbage. See, that
I'm
shows you.
living my life.
That shows you where I'm at. Like, oh,
And my sister she was like, she's trying to defend me by making up some bullshit stories.
oh, she was trying to protect you.
Yeah, she was trying to
wow.
protect me, but I think my mom was really, she was really mad. And then she started like,
Wait. How old are you in
I
this
was
story?
19.
Okay, so you're full adult by modern
Yeah, but
standards. So there was a woman living in the house.
there were many women living. I was the only stupid one.
Yeah, how did you? So back up. How does a non-married woman in a strongly Muslim country get birth control?
It's available in the pharmacies. You just go
You don't
and
need-
ask
yeah.
for it and sell
Your
it.
husband doesn't need to pick it up for you.
No.
Okay.
Oh, Morocco is full of contradictions.
Okay.
You can go to a doctor, like a gynecologist, and do like if you have like some women's issues, they go and they check you. They don't even tell your parents or anything. They would do it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
why it's.
What does abortion look like?
Oh no, you can't.
Oh, okay.
Like
So-
it's illegal unless there is a health issue. Like if the woman health is in danger, they will, which is a good thing compared to the
Yes.
U.S. I
Okay.
was baffled because my sister, she had an abortion. I don't know if you can say that, but because she had an ectopic
Oh, yeah.
pregnancy, so they had to save her. Like,
Yeah. My
Yeah.
first pregnancy ended in an abortion,
mm.
but it was after I had found out that it was a molar pregnancy, and so the fetus was not really there. It was and then but it didn't expel itself, and so I had to go through a process of they dilate you and then they suck it out.
Oh,
like
okay,
it
they
used to be called
vacuum, like on-
D&C,
mm.
but now there's another word for it. Yeah, so technically it ended in an abortion. So I don't know what that looks like in states where abortion's no longer legal. I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, but
But-
in Morocco, it's legal in certain like.
So your sister had some sharp bleeding, some
Yeah,
sharp pain, lots of bleeding, and they're like,
yeah.
you're
yeah,
gonna
they have to save
die,
her.
yeah.
And they do that like if the fetus has some abnormalities or like brain diseases,
so
they
there's
will.
a lot-
she
there's a
can.
lot more
She can.
progressive,
Yeah,
yeah.
they always favor the health of the mother first.
her physical health.
Yeah.
But mental health is not considered.
It's like if you're not married, then you can't do anything about it. Either
Really?
you have to pay a doctor,
Is
and
it-
he'll do something.
Oh, so like back
illegally.
alley stuff,
Yeah, but
Wow.
a doctor. A
Okay.
lot of doctors they do it.
just off the books,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
And they're not.
pay them
There's no
like
threat of being punished for them.
But they have to be very discreet. Like,
Okay.
you know.
So there's ways, but
There's
you have
ways
to be
if
connected
you have
and know
a
what
little
you're
bit
doing.
of money, you can afford it. But some women
Isn't that-
can't,
Yeah.
and they end up having a kid and just giving it away. Mm. So still a lot of.
All right, so podcast one
to a very good start.
Orphan babies. The lucky ones, I imagine. I mean, do babies end up... Okay, why am I taking it even deeper into... Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. We're not going there.
Yeah.
So you're 19. You're on birth control for what? Like just a couple of months? Like how quickly did you make the mistake of leaving your empty box?
I don't remember the time frame. I think it was... Because at 19, I started having sex when I was 19.
That's when I started having sex.
I was not an early. I was just... And that was my first boyfriend ever. I didn't have a boyfriend before. I kissed a couple of guys, but that's it.
Right.
No, I never.
You didn't mess around. You didn't like fully clothed grind into some guy's thigh. That's what I remember in high school. It was a lot of... Because there was so much shame, but you're so...
I was forced, actually. Not
yeah, right. Well, we'll get into that. So we've got
That's
babies.
so much stuff to unpack.
Yes, so much stuff. We got a lot to cover.
Oh, wow.
Right. But yeah, that strong sexual desire. And
you're 19. I was like when I hit puberty, it hit me really hard. I was always thinking about being penetrated. That's every night I'm like dreaming about having sex. I just want to, and I didn't know how to masturbate. I learned it really late.
What do you remember? What your parents' attitude was about it? I mean, obviously your mom's not going to teach you that, but not obviously.
Oh, we never talk about sex.
She didn't teach you anything? There was no birds in America we call it the birds and bees conversation.
No, you don't talk about sex at all. You learn it.
She didn't tell you where babies come from?
Well, you know it because you read books we never had this conversation with my mom.
Wow. I remember when my mom sat me down. I was very young. I think we were like folding underwear and she's like, "Oh, you should know." It's weird that I remember it all because there's not much I remember, but yeah, maybe that's smart. Maybe do it when they're 7 years old, when a kid's 7, and then that way you don't have to, as I'm being like all judgmental about like, what your mom did to, but I don't know how I talk to my kids about it. I think my strategy was more like, just talk about sex openly starting at a young age. And that way, if they have questions, they can talk. But
well, my kids asked me. Both my boys came and asked me, how do we make babies?
Oh, like at a young age? Like
like when I was like
where do babies come from?
4 or 5. And I just bought them books that explain it really well with like nice little drawings and everything. And it shows everything. It shows like a naked man, but it's not like sexual. It's very like illustration. And then they show the baby and they show how the baby grows. And they were satisfied. They were like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good." It was really...
No shame.
And I love the fact that they were books that can explain it better than I will, Yeah.
Well,
so it was like, "Hey, your mom." I used
Mommy
to
gets
suck
really wet. She forces daddy into it. Yeah, it's pretty cool that we live in an age where they have books for everything now. And it's only getting better too, like how to there's books out how to like teach kids how to deal with their emotions and the fact that they can have emotions at all and that's okay. It's like those aren't books we had when I was a kid.
We only knew one emotion or two in our household is fear and rage.
Well, my friend Deanne, a comedian, they have a joke about this topic, right? Like emotions, and the joke, if I'm paraphrasing here, was like in my family there was 2 emotions: happy or shut the fuck up. It's like, if you're not happy, I don't want to hear about it.
No, we had a lot of anger happening.
Well, back to the story then. So there's a woman in the house. There's a woman
in the house, and she started like screaming and saying like, "I'm gonna tell your dad." And that's like, for me, is the worst thing she could do. She never told my dad, of course. She knows that he can kill me or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. So she uses that to like wait,
Just like so I could maybe calm down or something.
or to
I
admit
don't
to it,
know.
or to
It's
promise
just
you'd never do it again, or whatever. Maybe.
she started like really watching me, where you going, where you like. But I didn't care. At some point, I became a rebel. I was such a good girl my whole life until I found sex.
Well, I'll do it.
I was like, the price is so good. I have to fight for it,
It's important, sex drive. It's important because if we didn't get that,
we'd
never move out of the house.
I loved having a boyfriend and going out and not being at home.
Did she know you had a man
Yeah.
at one point? Because you told me about a car, but we'll get to that story.
Well, she met the guy and she was like, okay.
Oh, wait. She finds out about the birth control, then meets.
Then when she found out who the guy was, she was very happy.
Because suddenly there's a woman in the house, but that's fine.
Yeah, because the guy was very wealthy. And
but your dad still doesn't know. I mean, at this point of the story, not
no.
today.
I don't know if he
Once your mom finds out.
My dad doesn't want to know anything. My dad is like an ostrich. He just puts his head in the sand. He doesn't want to know anything about his daughter's personal lives. He just.
How does that make you feel?
I don't care. I don't know. Never. Well,
because on one hand, it's kind of nice.
Now I don't care now. But maybe back then I wanted to have parents.
Maybe have some
who cared
support
about
from
me.
Adult figures in your life.
I wanted to have parents who cared about me and who would talk to me, and I would talk to them about my life. But I never had that.
Right. But you were consciously wanted that, which is it's like. Because I think when I'm hearing you talk, I'm thinking about me. I didn't really have that, but I don't know if I wanted it. I didn't know if that was, in my life, that wasn't an option. It wasn't like maybe I didn't watch enough sitcoms or something, but I don't know. How did you know that having parents who were like emotionally engaged with their children was even an option at all?
Because I've seen them on TV.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
This sounds so. I feel like a child now talking about it. It's just I used to watch all these sitcoms, and we had a lot of American TV in Morocco and movies.
The big ones? Family Ties.
We had the Cosby Show. It was very popular back then.
Yeah.
Seriously, we used to watch it all religiously. The whole family would sit. And we would watch the Cosby Show.
That's so cute.
Yeah,
was it in English or was it
French?
Subtitled? Okay.
In French, but it was so popular. We used to watch a lot of American movies, and series like Kojak and Columbo and Dallas and all these sitcoms and soap operas and I sometimes I see like parents and. Like this middle class Democrat intellectual parents with their kids and how they talk, and they have a nice house.
Yeah, but you had a nice house
in the suburbs of New York.
In the suburbs of Marrakesh. No,
no, we lived in Casablanca.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
But so it's interesting because I think when there's a big period in my life where we didn't have TV. So I don't know. I mean, the shows my family liked were Alf and The Simpsons. So like The Simpsons, we used because they're very dysfunctional.
Yeah,
so that was kind of.
Simpsons.
But
as well.
This idea that just because you sat on TV made you long for it. I guess maybe I was even at a young age kind of cynical. I was like, this is just stuff you see on TV. It's not real.
Well, because I think I really wanted that. I wanted to have a dad and a mom who would understand me and talk to me and encourage me, because I really wanted to.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I had so many dreams when I wanted to learn to play a music instrument. I wanted to do drama classes. I wanted to do sport. And we didn't do anything. Like, with 7 kids, they didn't care about this stuff. This is not important. You have an education and that's it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. You're going to get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So learn how to cook and how to be a wife and all this stuff.
That's another.
And I kept telling them that I really want to learn the piano. I want to do this. And nobody did anything for that. And I'd see all these kids, like, they're, even like I would see a child, like in whatever, in a movie or something, playing all these things. And especially like those high school movies where you see the kids, they're doing the drama thing at the end of the years, and they're doing all
the big productions.
Yeah, and they're playing sports with the. I was so like envious of that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, I could definitely relate to that, but it still was always something that just was always for someone else. It was never going to be part of my world. In my system, the environment where I was raised, music was an option, but that was pretty much it. Like, if you want to do anything else, it was, so I can definitely relate to that feeling.
It's not they prevented me from doing all that. They were like, no, you cannot do this. It's just they didn't care. They didn't
support you.
They didn't support my my dreams of doing anything artistic or extracurricular,
Mm-hmm.
So,
and as a mom with my 4 kids, I can relate to kind of probably failing my kids on that front too. It's like there's a point where you're just there's so much going on already. Just getting your kids through school is enough. And if one of them now wants something else, it's like, I don't have the bandwidth to. So I mean, there's a lot of regrets I have about things that my kids were interested in. They would come and they would ask for more attention from me on that, and then for whatever reason I didn't give it, and then later they just stopped pursuing it, and the sick feeling I would have, like, I was like, just like I don't have a lot of regrets, and I don't have any regrets anymore, but there was a long period of time where I had this very heavy regret, and it would make me cry when I thought about it with regards to my son.
But why did you think that you couldn't help them with this stuff?
It just wasn't the time, like when you've got 3 other kids who need your attention, and a dinner that needs to be put on the table, and work that needs to be done, and then plus all the dysfunction, and we're going to get into that down the road. But like, I was in and out of depression. There were times I was in and out of the psych ward. I was suicidal often. Like, so I wasn't in a place I could, this expression that's become so cliche, but like, you got to put on your mask first before you can put on the kid. Like, my mask wasn't on a lot of the time, so I wasn't in any place where I could help them with theirs. So I can understand. I mean, maybe your parents, it wasn't the exact same thing, but 7 kids is a lot. And to try to be like, oh, okay, so Lamia wants piano lessons and she wants to go to ballet, and then your sister wants this. Like, it gets a lot to handle, but it is sad that you had these like strong desires for creative exprestion. And
I was the only one who wanted to do extracurricular activities.
No.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
My big one was I once there's it's so cringe, cringe.
What? Just tell me.
In America, sometimes you'll hear on the radio like these ads for their like casting calls, or like they're looking for actors or models or whatever. And I wanted to be a model so bad. I wanted to be a model.
Why is it cringe? It's not cringe.
I don't know. I had a lot of acne at the time, so that was probably. But it is.
You wanted to be.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I should be more sympathetic to myself. There's some medical journals. I would love to see this. Yeah. But I remember asking my dad, because one of the ones was happening on a Sunday. And I finally got the guts to like ask my dad, like, it would be okay if I don't go to church, or could you help me? Like, could you drive me? And my sister is also like, she's very tall and lean too, and with a really pretty face. So I thought like both of us could go and we could both try to. And he's like, no, we don't do that kind of like. So the one time I
Oh.
tried to kind of do it, it was like it was
Oh,
rebuffed pretty
no.
quickly. So yeah.
This is it's amazing that we're having this conversation because I would think like you coming from the US and I'm coming from Morocco, like the stereotypes. Actually, this kind of things were allowed in our household. My sister modeled.
Oh
I have
wow.
an older sister who's tall. She's like your height.
Hmm.
She was like skinny and she's beautiful. She has green eyes and she's very fair. And she used to model all the time.
Oh wow.
She did it just for fun. She was in high school and she was just doing it as a side job.
And
And
did
we
she
were
have to do it
so
herself?
proud of her.
Oh, how did your parents talk about it?
We would see her on shows on TV. We're like, hey, that's her.
Oh,
And
wow.
we're like so happy because we have a model in the family.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
So your
yeah.
parents were pretty supportive of the whole thing.
There was nothing wrong with this stuff. Like even like my dad used to tell me, you need to become a comedian. You need to. This is your calling. But he never helped me in any way. He just kept telling me.
But he
that.
told you that. That's
Yeah.
something. That's
He
pretty
saw
amazing.
it in me when I was very young. He kept telling me, you should be. He used to say you should be a clown. That's what he
Oh,
used
well,
to
that's
say.
a little different.
Because for him a clown.
Go
is-
join a circus. Get the fuck out of here.
I think now a clown is not a good.
I know.
But for
That's
him,
very different than Lamia. You
But-
should pursue comedy.
but like he-
oh no, you're
I
a
think
clown.
I'm just literally saying
Yes.
that he always saw because I made him laugh all the time.
And he recognized that. That's pretty
he
cool.
said he kept like saying to me, "You need to do this. You have to do this for a living." But
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he saw
Wow.
it.
Because
I
he's
did.
not wrong.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I
But he traumatized me enough not to do anything. I don't
Later,
know.
yeah. I'm getting excited about tomorrow.
Yeah, me
And,
too.
I keep thinking
Girl.
about the party, and I just
Mm.
like today I was going up the stairs, and I was like, this big smile just showed up
Yeah.
on my face when I was thinking about you that at the last party we had. It was like, oh, I cannot wait to see that version of you come out again. It's gonna be hard to top. Like last time's was an amazing
Hey,
night.
don't. Yeah, it's okay. We'll go with the flow and see how it goes.
But I say
and-
that every time. Each time we have one, it's like, oh, this was the best one. Oh, this was the best. Oh, this
Yeah.
is the best. It's like they just keep getting better and
Well,
better.
that's
So,
good.
so this one tomorrow
Yeah.
night could be. But yeah, whatever happens, it's gonna be.
It's all right.
It's gonna be amazing.
Alright.
Yeah. But yeah, you are natural at making people laugh. Like it's pretty clear. And it's cool that your dad recognized it. What
Yeah.
did your mom think about your sense of humor?
Well, I don't think she's. I don't know. We never talked about it actually.
Okay.
My mom is a very sensitive person. Like I would make fun of my dad, like now or even before, and he would just laugh.
Mm.
My mom, I can't tease her. She will take it very personally.
So
and
your dad has has a sense of humor as well. Like that, if you had to point to one parent or the other,
yeah,
yeah.
my dad has he like now at his age, I will tell him really stuff that really out there, and he laugh. He laugh. Like I would
Nice.
tease him and tell him stuff that I would never tell him when I was younger, of course.
Sure.
But I feel like I'm gonna say something that he really loves me in his own way. He keeps telling me, "You have to come back home." Like he cried a lot when I left Morocco.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Was this after once you were married?
When I got married, he was crying at my wedding. He was crying
Really?
and crying.
Aw,
And
that's nice.
every time he calls me like, "That's enough. You have to come back home. That's enough. You have to come
he
back."
misses you.
Yes. Because I make him laugh.
But not enough to come and visit Montreal. But still, like, he
Well,
misses you.
he's scared of flying.
Oh,
he
has he
doesn't
been like that always?
Yes.
Oh,
He doesn't
wow.
fly. My mom flies, even though she's scared shitless, but she prays her way through the
She
airplane.
white knuckles her
Yeah.
way through it.
Yeah, she
Wow.
just reads her prayers and while she's flying.
Oh wow. Did she like quote them? And
She says the
like-
the Quran. She's like saying all this stuff
Wow.
to help her go through the anxiety of flying. But my dad is not strong enough to go through that.
Mm.
Mm.
So there's a lot of fear in your family. We'll get there. We'll get there. Wow. I had so many follow-up questions. So your dad recognizes your humor. That's fantastic. I'm lucky, not to make this about me, but yes, also to make it about me.
You can talk
but
about
I'm so lucky. Both
time.
my parents are so funny. They have such amazing sense of humor. And then sometimes like they can fight like nobody's business. But when they're like in the groove and laughing together, it is such a joy to see. Like they have their own little inside jokes and stuff. And it's really, I'm so fortunate that my parents
My mom is
so
funny, but she doesn't like to be teased. That's all. Like she makes people laugh. Like people around her, when she talks with people, I hear them laugh and they're like, and they're like, you're, and she makes me laugh. Like she says stuff that's hilarious. You just can't tell her stuff about herself. Like, can't.
It's too tender.
I
too
would
raw.
make her laugh by making fun of somebody.
She has no problem laughing at that. Yeah.
You know.
But as soon as that light's shining on her,
she needs a lot of love.
All right. So so no pressure, but I'm expecting a nice show tomorrow from you. Like,
my God, that's a lot of pressure.
I know.
Just leave me be.
I know.
Let me do whatever.
But it came so naturally from you. It just flowed so. It was just like it wouldn't stop. There were times where I couldn't stop laughing. Like I was like, I know, and then you were like,
couch.
And you're like, what if it wasn't even that funny? Stop! Like I was.
I swear, I didn't think I was that funny.
You were on fire. You were so funny.
I was just surprised at everybody's reaction to whatever stupid crap I was saying.
The tumble.
You know what? I was like, I'm just saying stuff, and like people are laughing. I'm like, why are they laughing? I'm not even being like that funny. I swear. I was like, this crowd is really easy.
We were soft. Yes. Yeah. We were a little enhanced.
The best crowd in the world.
Well, that will be happening again tomorrow too. So
I hope so. Imagine,
well, no,
I start
the enhancement
stuff and nobody laughs.
Yeah. Oh man,
like everybody's shocked.
No.
How dare she say stuff like that?
I don't think you need
Especially
to worry about
that. Especially that I say really outrageous things sometimes.
I mean, and no one was safe. Like even the dog, you were like making fun of the dog. It was pretty great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
An easy target.
Yeah, and I love how well, like, so you and I are just newly friended, and then you integrating so well with my friends. I love it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You have beautiful friends.
Yeah. When do I get to meet some of your friends?
They're not worth it. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh.
Oh, so who's that? Tell me about the hoe.
I don't have any friends. You're my only friend. Yeah. Well, I have one who I don't see often. I see her like once or twice a year because she has small children. But she's very
and the one I get to hear on the phone.
Yeah. So
what did you say to her? All my friends are divorced. Can't. When are you gonna be?
I'm waiting for her to get divorced because I'm tired of hearing her stories. I told her that. I said, I've had enough of your stories.
No wonder she doesn't call me very often. Like,
she calls me a lot. Like,
even with the stories.
Yeah.
You just don't listen to
it. No, come on. I listen to her. She's really...
But there is a point,
friend.
though. It's
she's
like
a good friend.
You hear the same thing over and over again. It's like, I can't tell you any advice I
But she knows that. She's very aware of it. It's not like we have a very good relationship. Like,
I can tell the way you guys talk to each other.
I talk to her like very frankly, like, and she does the same. So it's not. We don't sugarcoat stuff.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
very lucky.
So it's.
And making friends as an adult is a different experience.
I know.
Because it's like one of my really good friends I met because her kid, it was the same age as my kid. And it's like, because oftentimes you have connections that way, but you don't, those rarely, or maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, but we got so lucky that evolved into more than just being, we're these kids' moms and we just are kind of hanging out because our kids are hanging out. Like, so that our friendship grew, because there's that whole phase of it, right, where you're just hanging out with other moms, but outside of the kids stuff, or maybe some light politics or weather talk, like there's not much to get into. So,
but I had that, like when I used to live in Dubai, I met a lot of great women there. Like the moms, there were all sorts of moms, but I'm gonna say maybe 80% of them were absolutely amazing.
wow,
Yes,
that's a very high ratio.
Yes.
Wow. So why is that? Why? Like, just is that the
we're all expats. We come from all over the world, and we really need. But I really like them. It's not just because we have kids in common and we meet at birthday parties. So
you guys connected at a deeper level.
Yes,
that's lovely. Wow.
And most of us, we bonded even more because the husbands are not there most of the time. They work long hours.
That makes things easier. Get the guys around to screw things up.
And they were family, you know. They like we used to. I haven't felt really lonely in Dubai. I felt more lonely here than there. Actually,
that also makes sense. This idea of like, so you had the kids, which brought you together, but this idea of like you're all kind of alone, and not just because the husbands aren't home much, but also because you're all expats. You don't have sisters and parents, cousins, weddings, family birthday party, all those other things that keep locals busy. So you guys could do that with each other and really like
exactly
that's nice.
And most of these women didn't work. They were all stay-at-home moms, and so it was
a lot of day drinking. Oh no, you're in
no.
Dubai.
Well, yeah, people drink a lot. I used to drink alcohol in Dubai, and I stopped here. This is funny.
How ignorant I am. Yeah,
everything is backwards, and nothing is like I came to Canada and I stopped drinking alcohol. In Dubai, I used to drink every week.
This is the kind of rebel you are. You're like, is it legal? No, all right, I'm doing it. Is it
seriously there? The culture is for drinking.
But okay, I'm an ignorant American. What are the laws?
The laws is you go out to a bar and you get shit faced, and you go home.
Anybody, not just the expats.
Anybody can go to a hotel bar and drink.
Oh, it has to be a hotel bar.
Yeah, but there are no bars outside of hotels.
Okay, so bars are allowed, but only in hotels.
Yes.
And are they there for the people who are staying in the hotel, or is it generally accepted that anyone can go?
Anybody can go.
Okay.
And so they had a lot of ladies' nights, and you have free drinks the whole night. Yes. So imagine you're drinking champagne nonstop, and they keep putting champagne in your cup until you get shit-faced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was not like I never got drunk. Seriously, I just know when to stop.
Yeah, you're good with your limits.
Some of my friends, they were on the floor. Like, it was not good, especially the British.
Oh, yeah?
The Brits, they drink. They drink a lot.
They don't know when to stop.
Yeah.
So you get to Canada, and because we don't have ladies' nights, it wasn't free anymore.
Alcohol is too expensive.
Yeah, it's highly taxed.
Yeah, because before my ex used to pay for the alcohol.
Ah, right. Yeah. So
alcohol is very expensive in Dubai. There's a big tax on alcohol, and you cannot buy it. Like if you want to buy alcohol from like a store.
Yeah, like if you wanted a bottle to bring home, how do you do that?
I usually used to buy alcohol at the airport when I travel and I come back. I was allowed 4 bottles. Yeah, even if you're Muslim, you can buy alcohol.
Okay,
but in Dubai, there are like stores that sell alcohol. They're hidden. You have to know where they are. Like, but you need to have a non-Muslim card to get in there.
I don't even know what a non-Muslim card is.
Well, because when you enter the country, they tell you what's your religion, so they stamp it on your passport.
But what did you say?
Muslim.
So you didn't have a non-Muslim card?
I didn't have it. I went with my friend.
The Brits.
she buys everything, and then I pay her. But I rarely did it. Actually, I didn't like once because my ex-husband used to travel a lot. So
he was
always
bringing
buy.
it back.
And whenever somebody's coming, like, hey, bring a couple of bottles with you or something.
Yeah, so we've touched on a lot, like your time in Dubai and the crazy stories that have happened there. I don't know. How do we want to? I'm curious about if how unique are these experiences? Like yours are pretty wild. Like you're hanging out with the royalty and stuff. I can't wait till we get into some of those stories. And there's only a few I've heard, but yeah, as these conversations unfold, there's a lot to unpack, and I can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't wait to hear about your stories. Come on.
Yes. Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff to discuss.
Yeah. I grew up in a. Yeah. So should we call it a day for now?
Yeah.
I
think we have.
But I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too.
Having you in my life has been so fantastic. And it wasn't like I was lacking for friends, and I love my friends, but when you find like someone that clicks with you at that, like at the level that you and I click, it's been so fantastic. So I'm so happy to be doing this with you.
Me too. I love you, girl.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, all right.
Mwah.
All right.